oversized cream sofas faced a square cut-out fireplace that sat on top of a wide sandstone ledge, along which plants and cream candles were dotted. Above the fireplace hung a huge abstract oil painting of dark swirls and pinpricks of light, like stars viewed from under a stormy sea. "Dinny, my lovely." Priya appeared from a door on my left that I assumed was the kitchen. She handed me a glass of bubbles and chinked her own against mine before leaning in to kiss my cheek. "So pleased you could make it." Her glossy black hair was pulled over one shoulder and she wore fashionable thick-rimmed glasses. Her dress was pale blue linen and impossibly uncrumpled for a garment that had either been worn in a car or packed in a suitcase. But then, Priya was the sort of person who hung clothes in plastic covers from the hooks in the back of her car, something I'd never done in my life. "Oh, this place is just stunning," I said, still gazing about, taking in the high lantern ceiling and the wooden lintels driven into the wall to make up the floating staircase. "Hats off to Megs for finding it and arranging the whole thing," Priya said, raising her glass towards Megs. "I do have an eye for these properties, don't I?" Meg said with a smug grin. "Remember that place in Greece?" "Oh my God, that infinity pool," said Priya. I didn't say anything, having not been invited to Greece. "It's just such a shame Neve couldn't make it," added Megs, marching into the kitchen. Priya and I glanced at each other, and my insides clenched. I sipped my Prosecco and looked down. Megs reappeared with her own glass of bubbles. She would have gone crazy for this place. She wrinkled her nose and took a large swig. Priya stared meaningfully at Megs, who gave a sudden flash of embarrassment. We all knew I was Neve's last-minute replacement, and that if her father hadn't been taken ill last week, she would have been here instead of me. "Where's Rachel?" I said, trying to change the subject. Priya nodded towards a set of metal-framed seats arranged in a corner near the wall of glass. Rachel was hunched over, clenching a phone to her ear and staring with a serious expression at a small metal sculpture that sat on the glass coffee table in front of her. "So she won't take the bottle at all? Has Mum tried?" Her voice bounced off the hard surfaces and came to us in tense bursts. "No, of course I'm not saying that. It's just perhaps if you let Mum try." "Longest she's been away from Phoebe," said Megs, leaning towards me with a conspiratorial wink. "I reckon she won't last the 2 nights and will be off home later. Priya reckons tomorrow. We've got 20 quid on it." "Shh," said Priya. "Dinny's going to think we're awful. Stop it." She nudged Megs, but couldn't stop the sly smile spreading across her face. "Oh, Din, if you reckon she'll stay till Sunday, you can get in on it too. What do you think? 20 quid? I felt a spike of panic. £20. God, that was a lot of money. Well, to me it was. The idea of casually betting it away as a joke made me feel sick. But then the amount of money I'd spent to be here also made me feel sick. And then another thought occurred. I could win £40. "Okay," I found myself saying. "Sure." I gave what I hoped was a nonchalant shrug, and Megs laughed and squeezed my arm. Priya gave me an uncertain look. "It's just a silly thing, Dinny, you don't have to." "No, I want to," I said, my smile feeling forced and somehow manic on my face. Priya gave a small nod and looked down into her bubbles. She knew I didn't have the bank balance the rest of them did. It wasn't like they were trust fund babies. They didn't waltz around Oxford brandishing Daddy's credit card or anything like that. But they had extra funds that I didn't. They'd come to Oxford through private school, plus years of after-school tutoring and carefully chosen extracurricular activities that looked fabulous on application forms. They also had that natural confidence born of charismatic parents and expensive education. That